are you guys doing?
Yes, it's a great day. It's a beautiful day. We are alive and we have a lot to be grateful to God about. Thank you so much for joining in today. And just so you know, if you already don't know, that orange is the color. So I don't want any of you to be forgetting that orange is the color of the revolution that's already sweeping across the nation. Okay, I told you, don't be looking for this revolution on the television. Don't be looking for the revolution on the radio. It will not be televised. It will not be announced. You will not see it on the billboard. But the revolution already started. Okay, so let me put on my revolution cap. All right. So that's it. That's the color of revolution in Nigeria. It's orange. A lot of you are asking, what is it about this orange color? Orange color is a color that is not very aggressive. It's a color that is hopeful. It is a color that inspires progress. It's a color that is most pleasant when you are in recovery mode. And so in Nigeria, we're in recovery mode. We're trying to recover everything that the devil has taken away from us. And so that's why we chose the color orange. Other people might even think that you belong to a cult or other things when you begin to wear like black, red, or yellow, or any other color. So we try to look for a color that is more accommodating to people. But today we're not going to be talking about colors. Today we're talking about a lady by the name of Bisola Johnson, who came out. It's actually been a long time she's been on this thing, but recently she caught our attention when she appeared at the demonstration that was going on at the Koza Church, I think in Lagos, where she talked about her contact with TB Joshua. Jemima Ejikeme Chooks, thank you so much for coming on. So we made contact with her. She had written a book about TB Joshua. So today we're going to be discussing this book. And beyond that, we want her to be able to tell us directly what she's been writing in that book. So I'm going to call her in on her phone. And let me warn you that the reception is not so perfect, but we're going to hope that our connection will be okay and we'll get a chance to hear from her. There are some other people also who she had contacted and who will be willing to speak to us about this issue. All we really want to know is the truth. A lot of people have said, well, Chidi, don't do this, don't talk about this. And I'm like, no. We should talk about it. We should be able to establish the truth. We shouldn't just let things just fly about, okay? If someone is saying something that is derogatory or damaging against some other person, we need to establish the truth. And somebody is manipulating other people to their own advantage, that is detrimental to our society. So we also need to seek the truth. Okay, so go ahead and share the video, but we'll have the full interview also on our YouTube channel when we're done with this interview. So I'm going to place a call right now to Bisola Johnson way back in Lagos, Nigeria, and I am hopeful that she will come live. Okay, but it's important that we hear from her instead of just basing our opinions or whatever we're saying on what we hear from people. It's always better when you hear from the person herself I've contacted Bisola now, and yes, she's gonna be with us any second from right now. And ladies and gentlemen, without wasting a lot of your time, I'd like to introduce Bisola to you. Bisola, how are you? Okay, let me just switch the camera so people can see you. All right, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Bisola for you. I hope we can all hear you. Let me move this aside. Okay, all right. So, Bisola, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you too?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just fixing your camera to let it stay still and steady. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good enough. We can see you. It's clear. Okay, so
Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you for accepting to come on the show. I really appreciate your taking my call and you accepting to come to help us clear issues. Now, Bisola, let me start by asking you to give us a little background about yourself, where you're from, and how you got into how you got to know TB Joshua. Just give us a summary. We don't have to get all the details.
That's right, because it's a kind of long story.
Exactly, and you already and you wrote a book, so there's a lot of things that I'm sure you've talked about in the book. But sometimes, exactly. So just let us see your background. Like, I remember one of my pastors used to say, when you're giving a testimony, what he wants to see you say is that, okay, I was this, I was doing this, I met Jesus Christ, now I'm born again, I no longer do those things. So tell us who you were, at what point you met TB Joshua. Let us even just do that.
Okay, thank you very much. I was a banker, and while I was in Kano, the northern part of the country, working, that is where I had a problem with my house, and I had to come down to Lagos.
Okay.
At that particular time, I have not heard about TB Joshua.
Okay.
So when I got home, among families and friends, someone told us that somebody somewhere called TB Joshua. That on getting there, things will be all right. Yeah. As Africans, we want visions. We want somebody to tell us what to do, because at that time I hadn't got relationship with God.
Yeah.
So we quickly grabbed it and we went there. And on getting there, as I've said in many of my interviews, that he wrote something like Arabic, which I also have it in my book. I have a copy of it in my book that you can see. Oh, fantastic. I don't know if you can see. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, he wrote something like that in Arabic and said I should put it under my pillow, which I did. And ever since, I always dream about TB Joshua, dream about synagogue, and after going back to synagogue to tell him my experience, he said God wants to use me in the synagogue. And that was the beginning of the trap of 14 years experience in the synagogue. And while in the synagogue, I witnessed a lot of things that are not godly, things that, are not scriptural. He made us to understand that we must help God, that God cannot do certain things. So we have to lie, to deceive people that visit synagogue in order for them to, to believe that they have gotten their healing or miracle.
Okay, okay. Let me don't. Sorry, I'm cutting you short. So, you had this experience in Kano. You came back to Lagos, and then you met TB Joshua, and then you started working in the church. I assume you started working in the church as a worker.
Sorry, brother Chidi, working in a shrine, but covered in the name of Jesus Christ.
Okay, tell us what. Let's be practical here. Tell us one incident that stood out to you that you look back today and like you shudder when you think about it. Tell me one experience in that church, in the synagogue, that you really you can't believe that you went through.
Yeah, you can imagine one midnight that I saw TB Joshua wearing black, all black, and some people following him wearing black. You know, so it's one of those days that they will announce that it's going to be in a light out night, that people should go to bed early. You understand? So the light everywhere will be off. So I started thinking, what is going on here? And also, there are some people that usually visit him. The way they dress, you know that these are not church people. You understand? And they even ask him to be killing rams periodically, like every 2 weeks. Ram must be killed. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, and also in the synagogue, when people go there for the first time, you will not be asked if you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. You know, it's all about miracle, miracle, miracle. So when you get there, the way anybody get there is the way an occultist go there. And possibly the name miracle, you know, you will not be asked to come into the Lord. It's just miracle. And another thing I see is that, you know, communion are not being served in the synagogue. You can ask anybody. No baptism, either of the Holy Spirit or water baptism. All the things that are core value of Christianity is not being practiced there. Rather, it's work of darkness.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. In one of your interviews, in fact, the one that is making round now that really got us attracted, that caught our attention, you talked about some I don't know how to describe it, but some intimate relationship that you had with TB Joshua. Would you like to talk about it? Was that true? Okay. Do you have any intimate relationship with TB Joshua himself?
Okay, I just want everyone to know that I didn't go to synagogue to have sex with TB Joshua. I had a problem. And because I was not in the Lord, I thought maybe he could help me. So on getting there and all this Arabic writing and staying in the synagogue. So after staying in the synagogue for some time, for like 2 weeks plus, I was sent to I was working in the studio. Okay, one day while the service was about to start, we, the studio people, are the one that will go out first because everything must be recorded. So he called me. He sent someone to call me into his room. That was the first time I will know his room. I've always been seeing him or meeting him in his office. So when I got there, he asked me how I was faring. He apologized that they were not eating fish and meat at the time. That whatever I need, I should come to him. That he believed in me. That I can do a good job. That I should relax. I should not be afraid of him. That whatever I need, I'm free. So I thank him And he gave me 500 naira. So I went back. Actually, I was happy, of course. But after like 10, 15 minutes, I was called back again. This was when my joy started, depleting. Okay, because he was sitting with wrapping his waist with a white towel. So in my mind, I thought he was going to the toilet or going to the shower or coming out of shower in order to prepare for the service. But unfortunately, when I got there, there was no light in that room, I remember. So I thought maybe Nigerian thing. Before I left studio to that place, possibly NEPA has taken light. So, but he had a candle light. Coming into such environment, I didn't see clearly. So I knelt down by the door. Then he now said I should come nearer to him. On getting used to the room, I saw that his towel was shifted and his manhood was open. So I didn't want to embarrass him because I thought maybe it was unintentional. So I stayed where I was and bent my head down in order not to embarrass him. But he now stretched out. He now reached out to me and dragged my hand and placed my hand on what I was fearing and was using it to rub it. Say, I shouldn't worry, still saying the same thing. Don't worry, you are here. I'm everything to you. Whatever you need, I will give you. Just don't worry. But a lot of things was going on in my mind. Not that I was a saint, maybe not that I was a virgin, but I was just thinking in my mind that, if such a thing happened here, what about those people coming for miracle? At that particular time, I can't even pinpoint the miracle I've received. You understand? But, because I've been manipulated and brainwashed, so I believe that what is showing on TV, it was real. So I was feeling for those people coming for miracle, that if anything like this happened, the power will be gone. And, I can't afford to do that. So I resisted and he asked me to go. It was after the service that day that he now, it's like I was just in his room and he forced me. He forced me into sex.
Okay. I really wanted to hear that from you, because a lot of people have said, oh, you know what, this woman has a mental case. You say one thing today and then you say another thing tomorrow. I've heard you recount this story elsewhere, and I wanted to hear you say it again, because when you keep saying something, it's easier. People can pick loopholes in what you have said, but I just wanted you to recount it again on our platform. Now, they claim that you have a mental problem. Have you had any mental issues? Have you had to go see any doctor or psychiatrist because of a mental problem?
Thank you, brother, and everyone out there. Okay, I want to let us go on a journey. Okay, Bisola had mental problem, right? And she entered into synagogue where they said they are into healing and deliverances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed there for 14 years. Mm-hmm. And this mental problem is still there. What's going on here? Who is deceiving who? No, I never had mental problem all my life. My mom is still alive. My dad died while I was in the synagogue. So, and I can surrender myself for medical evaluation. So I do not have any mental problem. What they are saying from the synagogue is just damage control.
Let me ask you another question. There were times when you went back to the synagogue and you said that the devil deceived you and that you're sorry for what happened. Why did you do that?
Okay, thank you. This is part of why I am coming out today to give that information out to people, that they should be very careful who they trust. They should be very careful where they go to. You understand? The Bible says, if you're a Christian, that they that know their God shall be strong, not they that know their pastor. Because I trusted this individual, and because of that trust, he already said to me that my mom and my parents are behind my woes. You can imagine the problem why I came all the way from Kano was because my house got burnt. I lost all my property, and I've stopped working at the time. So it's like, where am I starting from? So I had to, as an African, I had to start running up and down instead of me to have peace in God. So, and he has already told me, I've sent my parents away. Please, enough is enough. Don't come around here. And TB Joshua enjoyed it. That the moment you enter synagogue, parents should not be coming around to bother you. He had one passage in the Bible that he usually use to support that anybody that want to carry the cross must leave their father and their mother and wife and children behind. So at that time, I was just all alone in the synagogue. So something happened because I was a coordinator of visitors. A man called Pastor Neil Labas-Cockney came all the way from South Africa and brought some sick people along. And why they came to the synagogue, TB Joshua didn't like it, that the people he brought were crippled and blind people. So these are the people he couldn't use to deceive if they are to be arranged at the emergency. So what he did was that he started beating me physically. See, as time goes on, if other ex-disciples start coming to tell their stories, this guy called TB Joshua usually used us whip
Koboko
to beat us. Koboko to beat us. So he gave me one dirty slap that I was sent. That slap sent me out of the environment. So and I just said, come on, I would like to go home. I would like to go home. I want to go home. He was so upset that you are telling me you want to go home. Then he used one of his this finger, he marked the floor. He said, if you have 2 heads, you go. Because I was not happy. I wasn't happy. So I just left. That was 7 years into my staying in the synagogue. So I just left. As I left, I spent 3 days not knowing where I was going. Not knowing that TB Joshua has already marked the floor for me to go. And because I don't know God, I was vulnerable. So I had to return back to the synagogue. And when I got back, they brought me in and they said, because I walked out on him, I must go and give confession. There are a lot of people's confession in synagogue studio. All the disciples, we do not know that this guy was keeping people's confession. So in order to use it against them.
Let me ask you a question. Here, Bisola. Since you left the synagogue and wrote the book and started giving interviews, did you ever go back to apologize and say you didn't want to do it, it was the devil?
2008, February 8, 2008, I left synagogue. it was only 3 days ago. The driver that, the Uber driver who took me, that missed road, was the only time, 3 days ago, was the only time I passed in front of synagogue.
Okay,
Since 2008, I never go back there.
You know what? You know why I had to ask you. You know why I had to ask you this question, because I am into media. I know what can happen. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible, but I'm tired of people manipulating stories. Because the story out there was that you left, you wrote the book, then you came back and you apologized and you left again. So it's good we establish that part. Listen, there are some other people that you mentioned who are willing to also talk to us on this program before we close. And you already gave me their number. I'm going to try to reach out to them. Your connection is already going off. But I'm going to try. No. Whoa, sorry about that. I'm going to try to connect those people and see whether they can talk to us. So guys, I'm going to reach out to, there's two people that Bisola told me that they are ready to also give their own testimony about their experience with the synagogue. The first person is going to be, his name is Paul, and his name is Paul Agomo. I'm going to reach out to him and see what he has to say about this. These are people that I didn't know them. It was Bisola that introduced me to these people. He said he already talked to them and they were willing to come on the show and talk to us about their experience with the synagogue. So I'm reaching out to them right now. If you give me 1 second, I will call them. This first person is Paul Agomo. Paul Agomo is also in Lagos. He was a former worker at the synagogue, and he promised that when this interview is on, that he could be called upon and he would tell us his experience at the synagogue. What we're trying to do here, I don't, people say, oh Chidi, don't talk about this thing, leave this matter alone. But we've gone beyond that. In Nigeria now, with the revolution now, we are talking, we are speaking. We want to establish if Bisola Johnson is telling us a lie, is the one manipulating us, our anger and our frustration will be turned towards her. But if the prophet T.B. Joshua and other ministers like him are the ones who are manipulating the citizenry, then our anger and frustration are also going to be turned towards them. You see, we should stop complicating issues. Nobody is untouchable. Nobody is unreachable. We are all equal. We are all citizens of Nigeria. We all breathe the same air in Nigeria. We all suffer the same thing. Even if you have a $1 billion car in Nigeria, you're still going to be driving it on the bad roads. Okay, so when things go wrong in Nigeria, they go wrong for everybody. That's why we have to keep on reaching out and finding the truth about issues. I'm not able to get to Paul Agomo. There's another person who is Dr. Patrick. Dr. Patrick is also in Lagos. I'm going to try to reach out to Dr. Patrick. I told them I'll be calling them when this interview is on the way, and but you guys know what's also obtainable. But I think Dr. Patrick is online now. If you flip your camera, I'll be able to bring you in. Just turn your camera, sir, so that yes, turn your camera. I can see you, but you need to turn your camera. Exactly, just a little bit more. Keep your camera flat, sir. Can you turn your camera, sir? can you turn your camera? Keep your camera flat. Keep your camera flat. Yes, turn your camera. Your camera is like this. Just turn it so that yeah, exactly. Awesome. Awesome. No, you need to take it back. You need to take it back. Take it back. Keep it flat. Exactly. Okay, beautiful. It's fine now. It's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Patrick. We're going to make this, we're going to make it quick because I know the connection may go off any time now. Dr. Patrick, thank you for taking my call. Please let me know what is your experience with the synagogue and Prophet TB Joshua.
When I was working with a outfit in Lagos, I seen many of their members who came up for laboratory exams to examine whether the HIV has gone or stay there. But at some time, we now understand that the pastor of that synagogue was requesting the laboratory MD to always write negative for those people who come to his lab for nation, whether their HIV status has been healed or is still present. And we were told that the truth set free, this truth secure and protect, the truth make people progress. Therefore, we were not told that that laboratory is based on truth foundation, that at no time should any person write otherwise concerning any patient that came from the foundation. And whatever their result read is what the lab scientists to write.
Let me understand, sir. What you're trying to say? Because I think you should reduce your volume. Reduce the volume of your thing. It's echoing. So what you're saying is that when you were working in that lab, that the TB Joshua and people from the synagogue, and that
came up for lab HIV test.
Okay, so that's people who came with HIV positive to their church. They will send them to you for examination, and they asked you to always write negative, showing that they were cured of AIDS, right?
Yes, I work in that establishment. All right, the MD of that day was telling us that is some of the report he received from TB Joshua, that he should write always negative.
Oh.
Every person who come up with HIV test, and he was sent to, it's not back to him that we don't do that. We report honestly whatever we find in their blood.
Did you, when you told TB Joshua this, what did he say? What did he do?
Did not see him in person, but we were told that member of his church came to that lab. It was the MD of that lab that told us that.
Okay, I see.
That we should always make sure that we don't utter results. Don't utter results. Yes, the results are to be presented the way they are.
Okay, so
hello?
Yes, I understand you. So what you're saying is that some people came from the synagogue requesting that this test that they should always be marked negative, so that what it looks like to me is that when these people come with HIV infection, and then after praying for them, they send them to go and do a test. So the test is supposed to now come back negative, showing that they were cured, because it would have been manipulated at the laboratory. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to get this aspect. Thank you so much. Okay. Your connection is not very good again. We can't hear you very well. Can't hear you, but thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so that was Dr. Patrick. I forgot to ask him the name of the facility. But since we're not hearing from the MD of that facility, I just wanted to ask him what he personally wants to say. Now I'm gonna try to reach out to Paul Agomo again and see if we can get him on the phone to talk to us. I'm calling him back. If I'm not able to get him on the phone, then I'm gonna bring back Bisola Johnson to continue talking to us. Okay, I am not hearing from Paul. You know what? I'm going to place a direct call. Okay, good. Paul is connecting. Okay, wonderful. Paul, can you turn your camera, turn your phone so that it's horizontal? Okay, you're still traveling. You won't be able to talk. Okay, I'm going to call him directly, ladies and gentlemen. That will give us a better audio. We may not be able to see him, we won't be able to see him, the picture of him talking. But let's call him directly. We can maybe just manage his audio. So I'm calling him directly, and he was a former worker at the church, and let us get his own side of story. See, what I'm trying to do is to get as many people's versions of this whole story as possible. That will help us to come to a conclusion, because not sometimes, but all the time, it's better to hear a story from different angles. And I would like to mention here also that I called the synagogue because I wanted to get their own reaction. I called them, and someone answered, a secretary answered, and then I asked if I could get an interview with TB Joshua or any representative from the church, and she said I should write an email. And I did write an email to the church, and I did not get a response yet. So I'm giving them benefit of the doubt that I'll get a response from them. And when I do get a response from them, I will also seek to interview them and get their response I'll get their response concerning this whole issue. But while we're waiting to be able to talk to Paul directly, let me bring back Bisola on the show to continue talking with us, and then maybe round up the program. I hope we can still reach her. I'm calling Bisola Johnson again. Good. Okay, Bisola, it's good that I was still able to catch you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need to flip your camera again. I don't know why it keeps happening.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good. I'm glad that I got you back. So let me appreciate you once more, Bisola, for having the courage to be able to speak up. I know that there is better awareness in Nigeria than it was a couple of years back when you came up with your book, with your story, and a lot of other women are also being empowered to come up with their story. Tell me what other experiences that you had with TB Joshua, especially after you wrote the book, because I'm wondering how it must have been when they saw the book. By the way, I was able to talk with Patrick. He came on and he spoke to us. That was good. Yes. We also contacted Johnson. Hold on one second. Maybe he's the one talking, and if it's the one, we'll be able to let him talk. Hello, is that you, Paul? Is that Paul? Okay, who is this, please?
My name is Stanley.
Your name is Stanley. Where are you calling from?
Stanley. I'm calling from Lagos State.
Okay, good. Stanley, you're calling me right on a program. I'm live on a program. Are you calling me about the program?
Of course. Yes.
Okay, good. Your number is not showing. I usually don't pick calls without any number. Your number is hidden, but go ahead. What is it you want to tell us? Huh? You will do what? Okay. So I guess the person was trying to reach me. Bisola, someone was calling from Lagos. I thought he had something to say, but his phone went off. So please go ahead and tell us what your experience is after you wrote the book.
Yes, after I wrote the book, I put it out there because I want the information to go out. It was on Amazon for some time. Then Dr. Sunday Adelaja from Ukraine saw the book and invited me for interview. I was on his platform 6 times, recounting what I had already written in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are getting the information. I told them it's not about making money out of the book. I want the book to be kind of document for time to come. But all the things that are in the book, I keep saying it on different platforms. So then suddenly there is one man called Femi Fanikayode. I was in the synagogue when Femi Fanikayode was brought to the synagogue. He had problem of bipolar disorder. Because I work in the studio with the camera crew, if anybody arrives, we have to go first to go and take the video shoot.
Hold on, Bisola. Hold on. When you say Femi Fanikayode, is that the one that we know? The one that was Home Minister?
The same Femi Fanikayode.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So then TB Joshua told us during our meeting with him that Femi Fanikayode was also on cocaine. He was addicted with cocaine. So it happened that this same person, when he saw my book, because he's into politics. So when he saw my book, because he wanted to defend TB Joshua, he said a lot of negative things about the book, and he said he was going to send higher assassin against me. That wherever I go, I should just be looking over my shoulder behind me. So I wasn't happy. Why should you say a thing like that? If peradventure I said something about TB Joshua. I think he's old enough to defend himself. So in the night, you will see that some people will just be calling my phone number, threatening me. So that makes me not to be able to go out as freely as I am. Look at it. Look at this. This is an hijab. This is Muslim hijab. Most times if I go out, I'm always on hijab because of these people. You may say, why don't I go to the security agency? But we all know what Nigeria is about. Take for instance, there is a case against TB Joshua in Lagos High Court, Ikeja, where a family took TB Joshua because he deflowered or he disvirgin 3 minor girls of the same father, of the same mother. And
we're losing connection there. It normally happens.
the family is
No. I think there's a call that was coming in. As soon as she's able to cut that call, she's gonna come back to us. So let's be patient. Okay.
Yeah.
I think a call was coming in for you.
Calls were coming to my phone.
No problem.
Sorry about
Go ahead.
that.
Go ahead. You said a family took him to court.
They took him to court. Do you know that this case has been in court for the past like 17 years? One time, TB Joshua has never been to court. He always pay his way out. Even there was a time the case was thrown out of court, and because the family were not happy, they need justice. They have to take it away from another court and take it to another court. So this is the climb we are living in. See, when the building collapsed in the synagogue on foreigners, the government supposed to take TB Joshua and they're supposed to prosecute him because he built houses without government clearance. He built houses with substandard materials. Till today, we are all Nigerians. Have you heard anything about it? This is the government, this is under the government we are in. So what I thought is that I think what I'm doing is more than TB Joshua. Instead of facing TB Joshua and said, okay, I'm taking you to court, I believe I just need to tell my story so that my past will not become other people's future, so that people will not fall into the scam I fell into. So that is why I'm doing this. It's not for TB Joshua, it's not about TB Joshua, it's for people, so that they can know their God. Because not knowing your God has led many people into bondage of this kind of people like TB Joshua. It's not only TB Joshua, there are a lot of, people like TB Joshua around. And, they are just proliferated.
All right. Thank you so much, Sister Bisola. Let me ask you a question, because I reached out to the synagogue people. If
wow, they won't even answer you.
Well, they asked me to send an email, and I sent an email. If in future somebody that says because I would like somebody who was in the church the period when you were there, if somebody comes and they are willing to do an interview, like one-on-one interview, come on the program at the same time as you, are you willing to come and talk with them?
Not one person who has been in the synagogue while I was there. I would want TB Joshua to sit down and let us, face to face, and let us talk about it.
Okay, I also reached out. I also reached out to them and said that we would like to interview TB Joshua. We've not heard from them. But thank you so much, Bisola, for what you're doing. You need to stay strong. And most importantly, you need to stay safe. I'm not a medical doctor, but I don't think that you sound like somebody who has a mental problem. I don't know how people who have a mental problem can write a book and interact fluently. I've talked to you a couple of times, and you've sounded eloquently. You speak English very well. You've been in the banking industry, according to you, and you worked with them too. If you had a mental problem, I don't think they would have allowed you to work with them. So it is what it is.
I was head of the studio for many years. I was head of even admin department for many years.
Okay.
I was the first person who was, started coordinating visitors. When I was there, any international call that come into the synagogue or email, they call me to attend to the visitors. And also, I also have experience in the maintenance department, the department that builds houses inside the synagogue complex. So I know how they build. I know a lot of things. I've followed them to some countries where they went plan crusade and all that. I think if I was, unreliable or maybe mentally unbalanced, I don't think I would be placed in this position.
All right. Thank you so much, Bisola. I'm going to let you go, but I appreciate you coming. And then we pray that God will continue to keep you, and we'll keep this revolution. You did not wear your orange beret, though.
Yeah, next time I'm going to wear it.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much, Bisola, and may God be with you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys. So that was Bisola Johnson, and you heard her. You are entitled to your own opinion based on what you have heard and based on what you have seen. Ours is to just go behind the stories and try to also make sense out of it. Like I said, we reached out to the Synagogue of All Nations ministry, and we have requested to have a one-on-one interview with Prophet TB Joshua or any representative that he would choose, so that we can get their own side of the story. From all of us in Toronto Worship Media Studios, this is Chidi signing out. Thank you so much.